The federal judge who stopped or delayed Trump's buyout program blinks. He's changed his mind to end his temporary restraining order that barred the Trump administration from continuing to drastically reduce government bloat by eliminating over 60,000 employees from the federal government. And so the buyout of federal workers now resumes. This is an article discussing this issue from the USA Today. It is titled, "President Trump's Buyouts for Federal Employees Can Proceed, Judge Rules." This is written by Joey Garrison. A federal judge in Massachusetts on Wednesday restored President Donald Trump's buyouts for federal employees, delivering a setback to opponents of Trump's efforts to drastically cut the federal workforce. The Trump administration is claiming victory and responded by announcing the close of the buyout offer to any federal workers who might still be undecided. U.S. District Court Judge George O'Toole, what a name, in a written order said federal employee unions that sued to stop the program lacked standing to bring their challenge and that his court does not have jurisdiction to hear their complaint. Would have been nice if he had figured that out before he put in a temporary restraining order. But, what do I know? Now, the judge is lifting his pause on the buyouts that he first issued last week and denied the plaintiff's request for an injunction, allowing the Trump administration to move forward with the buyouts. A spokeswoman for the U.S. Office of Personnel Management said in a statement that as of 7 p.m. tonight, the program is now closed. There is no longer any doubt. The deferred resignation program was both legal and a valuable option for federal employees. In a push to downsize the government, the USA Today continues to write, the Trump administration last month offered buyouts to nearly all 2.3 million federal employees in a plan dubbed Fork in the Road, promising 8 months of pay and benefits if they resign. So essentially what the Fork in the Road was is federal employees were given the option in an email to resign immediately while continuing to receive full pay and benefits until September 30th, which seems pretty generous to me. Those who accepted the offer would be exempted from the return to work order programs and potentially placed on administrative leave or have their workload reduced. And all they had to do to accept the offer was to reply in the email with the word resign, which is classic Elon Musk. Now, the Trump administration defended the program as a generous and valid offer to reform the federal workforce. It was the first of many things that they're going to do here. And naturally, there was a lot of anger about it. The unions didn't like this, the politicians who were anti-Trump didn't like this, and so on and so forth. Anyway, USA Today goes on to write that in his new order, O'Toole said that the plaintiffs are not directly impacted by the buyout program, which the unions argued would result in a potential loss of union membership, oh so sad, and diverted financial resources by answering questions from members about the directive. The unions do not have the required direct stake in the Fork directive, but are challenging a policy that affects others, specifically executive branch employees. This is not sufficient, O'Toole wrote in his order. O'Toole also said the plaintiffs' claims do not fall under jurisdiction of federal district courts, but instead should be reviewed administratively through mechanisms created by federal laws that govern labor relations, as it should be.
We believe that the injunctions that have been issued by these judges have no basis in the law and have no grounds, and we will, again, as the president said very clearly yesterday, comply with these orders, but it is the administration's position that we will ultimately be vindicated, and the president's executive actions that he took were completely within the law, they were constitutional, and we look forward to the day where he can continue to implement his agenda. And I would just add, it's our view that this is the continuation of the weaponization of justice that we have seen against President Trump. He fought it for 2 years on the campaign trail. It won't stop him now.
And outside of this particular win, you best believe once things start to get to the Supreme Court, a lot of these judges are going to be overruled. Mark my words on that. Now, of course, this won't be the end of the road, and the Trump administration is signaling furloughs and layoffs are likely if not enough federal workers agree to the buyouts. On Tuesday, Trump signed an executive order instructing heads of federal departments and agencies to undertake plans for a large-scale reduction in workforce. Layoffs are going to start Wednesday at the General Service Administration. USA Today says that the judge's opinion on the buyout plan marks a rare legal win in the short existence of Doge. Yeah, there's a lot of corrupt judges out there, which has faced court setbacks in an effort to shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development and access the Treasury Department's payment systems, meaning you've got rogue judges out there trying to usurp executive authority. Now, Everett Kelly, a national president of the AFGE, the largest federal union, representing about 800,000 workers, said, "Today's ruling is a setback in the fight for dignity and fairness for public servants, but it is not the end of the fight." He said that the AFG's lawyers are evaluating the decision and assessing the next steps. I'm sure they are. And so, tens of thousands of federal employees are on their way out. The Trump administration and their allies, of course, are celebrating this legal victory as a significant win for their agenda to downsize the federal workforce. And it is the first big win that they've had here since the courts began to step in. Well, I mean, aside from all the downsizing and wiping and exposing waste and fraud. Those are also good wins. The Trump administration, meanwhile, is calling this a humane off-ramp. It's a way for federal employees who may have structured their lives around working remotely to have a chance to leave in dignity and with some money in their pockets. And in the end, those who took the buyouts will likely have been the smart ones. Now, the Trump administration has set clear expectations that if there is an insufficient number of people that take the buyout offer from the federal employees, widespread layoffs are likely to follow. They have been explicit about this. Internal communications have warned that the majority of federal agencies will likely be downsized through restructurings, realignments, and reductions in total force. Officials have reportedly been instructed to prepare for staff cuts of up to 70% at some agencies. And the White House has ordered government agencies to develop plans for wide-ranging job cuts. The Trump administration is hell-bent on drastically reducing the bloat and the waste that is the federal workforce. The administration is warning that federal employees could face furloughs or layoffs if they don't accept the buyout offer. So if they didn't take the deal, you're probably still going to get the axe. And the Office of Personnel Management has warned everyone that the majority of federal agencies are going to see downsizing. I suspect that many of the people who didn't take this opportunity are going to regret it in the coming months. The federal government is insanely bloated. It is a fat pig feeding off the trough that is the American people and their labor. The estimated workforce for the feds is over 3 million employees, which makes them the largest single employer in the entire country, which surpasses Walmart, Amazon, and McDonald's. This is outrageous. There is no reason that the government is this big, which makes it no wonder that they squander so much of America's wealth. This institution needs to be brought to heel. And it appears that Donald Trump and Elon Musk might just be up to the task. And as long as the American people remain in strong support of the administration, this will likely only just be the beginning of legal victories yet to come. All the stalling tactics that the courts are using now will only further fuel the disintegration of support for the Democrat Party, who are already viewed as obstacles to fixing the country's problems, and, even worse, increasingly seen as irrelevant. And having judicial activism, which is primarily coming from leftist judges, is only going to amplify this problem. So the political party that is the Democrat Party is going to be in serious trouble. And as long as they remain solely focused on just being the anti-Trump party or the DEI-obsessed party, it will be doomed to be the minority party for the foreseeable future.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.